Artificial intelligence, machine learning, knowledge engineering, call it what you want, but AI had the tech world bitterly divided in 2017. Today, we have the privilege to speak with Kai-Fu Lee, an artificial intelligence expert who has just published this book, AI Superpowers. Let's hear what he has to say about the technology. When we talk about AI, we think of two names, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. One said that AI would doom human civilization, while the other disagrees. So what's your stance on this?
I basically disagree with both of them. I think Elon's point is too much sci-fi, too much imagination that believes in basic singularity, that AI will become super smart and will be hopeless in that process. I don't think there's any engineering evidence that is happening. Obviously, once we see evidence, we can change our minds, but today it is too early and irresponsible to propagate that kind of fear. Mark, I think, is generally fairly pragmatic. I mostly agree with him. But I think he makes the point that AI is really just great symbiotic help people. I partially agree with that. I think for creative professions, for professionals, for lawyers and researchers, financial analysts, for scientists, for columnists, AI can be that great tool that makes human better, and the human can also make AI better, so that is true for those professions. But I also think we cannot overlook the fact that AI primarily is doing routine jobs, and that they will completely displace routine tasks that routine jobs do. So to say that AI is purely symbiotic with human, I think is only partially correct, and we have to put a lot of attention on AI displacing routine jobs.
And speaking of jobs, actually you mentioned that AI will replace a lot of jobs, replace human beings in a lot of jobs, especially those repetitive and laborious jobs with less creativity requirement. But that also can lead to unstable social orders and some other negative impact. So how do you see those negative impact of such brought up by AI? And what career advice would you give to young people?
Well, we can look at defensively at what AI cannot do. One is in the creative, strategic, conceptual thinking, and people who have that aptitude should absolutely do that. But we realize that's not going to be the majority of the jobs that will become available. So as routine jobs get displaced, I think the only job category that is large enough to accommodate that size of the population, we're talking 30–50% of the population, would be human interaction social jobs. Jobs that are social in nature, that require building trust, that people expect to deal with a human, not a robot. Jobs that have empathy, compassion. So these jobs would include the current jobs of nurses, nannies, elderly care, but they would also include jobs that are symbiotic with AI. For example, the future doctor may be working with an AI analytical engine, the wrapping warmth around that, and that could reduce the cost of healthcare and reach a lot more people, and we could have 10 times as many doctors of that sort. And teachers, similarly, there's no point to have teachers grading exams and giving out homeworks. Robots could do that, or give out the same lecture again and again. Teachers should be there to answer questions, to mentor students, to have a much smaller student-to-teacher ratio, so there could be a lot more teachers, and a lot of personal growth, and psychiatrists and social workers. There will be many more of such human jobs needed. So I think young people could pursue either the social jobs or the creative jobs, but in any case, people should find their passion and areas where they excel and have talents, so that they can go into those smaller number of jobs that have the greatest economic benefit magnified to the society. I also think everyone needs to hone up on their social skills, the soft skills, the interpersonal, trust building, communication, team working kind of skills, so that they can earn trust and do better in whether it's corporations or in the society. That actually is not so different from the advice I would give prior to the AI coming about. But I think AI taking away the routine work pushes people with a greater sense of urgency that they need to think in terms I outlined now.
Right. So one last question: do you think China is leading AI now in the world, and where do you see China is better than the rest of the world?
China is clearly leading in implementation of AI because there's more capital, more engineers, more entrepreneurs. They work harder, they're more tenacious. But U.S. still leads the world in research and also the more advanced AI applications such as complex robotics and autonomous driving. So I think what is undeniable and unquestionable is that U.S. and China will co-lead the world, whether it's a 55-45 or 60-40, we don't know, but they will co-lead the world. I also want to point out that it's not a zero-sum game. In China, the Chinese VCs fund the Chinese companies who develop Chinese AI for the Chinese users. In America, it's for the American equivalent. So that it's not a zero-sum game. It's not the case that every dollar a Chinese company makes is one fewer dollar American company makes. So I think it's not a zero-sum game, and we should think about AI as a lot of research, a lot of opportunities, a lot of upside, a lot of challenges that we should at least consult what other countries and companies are doing, if not partner and work with them.
Thank you so much.